So how are your boxwoods this year? Here in Ohio, in Montgomery County, we're being hit so hard. Just driving through the neighborhood, and I see a lot of the boxwoods that are, decorative, beside of the front doors, beside of the driveways, in circles in the front yard. They were so pretty, and now it's devastated. And if you've ever been hit in your area with this box tree moth, it is just in a week, 2 weeks, they're gone. If you don't notice it right away and get it treated, preferably early in May, June, even July, you might have a chance. My 2 small ones are just dead. I wasn't able to find it in time, and so there wasn't anything that I could do. Now you can use BT to spray the young caterpillars because before there's a heavy infestation, it's a little easier to control. But once it gets heavy and you've got these long, big green caterpillars, it's like it's over. I thought I had spider mites at first when I noticed them because there's a lot of webbing, because they kind of, when you move them, you see like those silky little threads that come from the caterpillar, and I thought that was spider mite, and I thought, oh no, I've got to treat these. They've already killed my boxwoods. Let me protect my other plants. But when I examined, when you look real close into here, you see all the frass, the poop, that has come from the caterpillars. BT is something that you can buy to spray, but you've got to get it early. Once it's devastated like this, there's almost nothing that you can do to get them off of there, because basically they've killed the whole plant. I can leave a link to some of the insecticides or thuringiensis that you can use. It's better not to use something that can kill them because they produce 2 to 5 generations each season. So if you use just some kind of killing insecticides, you spray the caterpillar, it drops dead, they'll just develop an immunity to that insecticide, and you're back to square one. At least that's what the Department of Agriculture recommends. But this is what I found mine looking like because it was hot. I didn't go around there, wasn't out near my flower beds. You can see how the crabgrass took control because I wasn't out there. But within a week, 10 days, that's what they looked like. It's really disappointing when you've gone that long. These are Green Mountain boxwoods that were 6 feet tall a few years ago, and I apparently got the boxwood blight, and I cut them down at that time. You can, if you have this kind of devastation, cut them to the ground. Just leave the stumps. And mine did grow back. Yours could possibly grow back too, but then you've got to stay on top of it and treat them so that when they are young and still green and leafy, you don't get this kind of devastation. Now the BT is created from spores that damage the gut of the larvae. So when you spray your leaves that they're eating, then they eat those leaves, and in 2 or 3 days they die. They just get sick and die from that infestation in their gut. And in my case, I thought, I'm done with these, I'm getting rid of them, and obviously there was no saving these. They're too far gone. Now, in Montgomery County here in Ohio, it is a known infestation in here, and you can't let your clippings go out of the county. So what I did is bag all the clippings in a garbage bag. You leave it in the sun for at least 48 hours. So basically you bake or fry any of the surviving caterpillars, eggs, etc. I did that, and I left mine set for a full week after I cut these down. I put them in a garbage bag that was dark. It absorbed from the sun, and I am assuming killed them. but when I did set it out for the garbage man, they did take them all.
You don't have to leave it on.
So as you can see, mine were only a couple of feet tall. So I didn't have the full devastation like a lot of people have had around here, where they had them ringing sidewalks, up and down the sides of their houses, in pretty treatments beside the doorway. So I consider myself lucky, but we got rid of these. It was a little hard sometimes for me to use these loppers, or whatever that kind of a tool is called. But those caterpillars don't get onto other plants in general, don't bother them, so I didn't worry about my other plants. I just kind of had to clean up this mess. I got them way down as far as I could get them cut, and then my son had to come in and do the main hard work. He took a chainsaw to the stumps, and then I think it's an axe, that big rectangle ended thing that you chop with, and then he also hammered with a sledge so he could break off dead pieces. But we got rid of mine in their entirety, way down, I'd say 10 inches into the soil. That's what they look like. They don't bite, they don't sting. You only have to really worry about them getting onto your plants. And watch it, they'll get onto your clothes and take a ride too inside. But mine are gone now. They are history, and I did not have any other boxwoods other than these two. So I'm done with boxwoods completely. So he took my sawzall to trim down low. I had some blades that were for wood specifically for this purpose. But then he brought his larger chainsaw and finished it off, because this wasn't enough to get them deep enough. But that's what you do when you have your grown sons who can come and help their old mother to clean up things. I appreciate my sons so much. So this is what I had to do for my infestation, and I hope you can have better luck. And as I said, it's late in the season to try to save them, especially if they've gone all brown. The only thing you can do is a rejuvenation prune, where you take it down to like 5-inch stumps and try and let it grow back up. But I'm done with boxwoods here in Ohio. I did send a notice to the state. The Ohio Department of Agriculture has a hotline that you can send something to and let them know. So your state might have something similar. They kind of track the movements to know where they're going to. So hope you have better luck than I did, and goodbye to those caterpillars, and goodbye to my boxwoods.